Stephen O'Reilly's one of our loyal Renman Music and Business members, and I first got my attention when he sent me a note when I was watching your show on a train in the UK, right? So first thing I have to, is that for real? You were actually watching on a train?
Yeah. When I'm traveling, it's a great way to be learning at the same time, like when you have 30 minutes or an hour to kill on a train.
I managed to get into the music industry through a label, and that was really interesting and make connections, but it was only one part of a career, and I also had to handle managers and a lot of mummages and dadages and really screwed up people.
This pervasive institutional thinking about just taking a cookie cutter approach and not even considering the differences in the audiences for the artists, let alone the kind of music that these artists were making, made me want to go into management and work for the artists.
Bad news is part of the music business.
Yeah.
Because it's honest. You've always dealt with it in person, where you and I know that a lot of people don't. Talk about that.
I mean, that's got me into a lot of trouble over the years. I've always believed in telling it as I see it. A&R, you have to be. In a record company, you have to be very, I think, circumspect about how much you sign and the amount of time that you invest in that, and have a real vision and spend an awful lot of time with the artist to make that happen. Publishing, is a very different role. People think of publishers maybe as banks or whatever. I was never ashamed of that role. In fact, I felt it was a really important role, because you couldn't go to the bank and get the money. Record companies, would generally not give you, enough cash in that way.
When you have a manager, when you have a record label, whether it's a publisher, they are all making a huge commitment to an artist, okay? And that commitment is demonstrated by the fact that in the case of a publisher or a record company, they're advancing you money to go out and help you make your dream come true if it's in the cards. If you're a manager and you have a huge commitment and you believe in an artist and you have some experience that would help them actually get somewhere, here's how the pay works. No money for the artist, no money for the manager. If a band goes on the tour, the bus driver's getting paid, the sound engineer's getting paid, the roadies are getting paid, the hotels are getting paid, the band's not getting paid necessarily, and the manager's not getting paid. Why do they do it? Because they freaking believe in it. I haven't met a manager yet that got fired for making too much money for the band.
The first time I came across CD Baby was when I was looking for a way to distribute my own album, so.
Well, what better endorsement could they have than somebody who was there trying to make it work for them, now working for the company? Excellent stuff. Used to be 5 or 6 ways to get your records out there, and they were all big companies. Today, not true. There are lots of options out there for artists to distribute and promote their music. Tell our viewers why they should be thinking about CD Baby as that option.
The thing I love about CD Baby, more so than any of the other options out there, is just the great story and kind of tradition of what made the company what it is today. It was an independent artist that was kind of ran into what you were saying. There was only certain companies that would allow people to distribute music, and they all told him they weren't interested. So what he did was he started selling it on his own website, and his friends said, hey, we've been having the same problem. We want to sell our music as well. And it just kind of snowballed organically into this.
So how do I advise my students the good from the bad, the scammers from the honest people?
Somebody wants to get $2,000 a month for 18 months guaranteed. I want to know, and I want to ask you, Deborah, when they talk about artist development, which is this kind of fuzzy freaking term that's been banging around for years, what are they promising you? If you talk about option 2 here, the artist development, the handshake, we're gonna take this on faith. I have a handshake with my friends in Incubus.